All right, we got this gem here from HuffPost about J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance on porn. Ban it to save families. The Ohio Senate candidate told a Catholic magazine in 2021 that porn should be restricted to help an isolated generation thrive. Going beyond even the GOP's own platform, Republican Senate candidate J.D. Vance told a Catholic magazine last year that pornography should be banned because it's stopping Americans from getting married and starting families. Quote, I think the combination of porn, abortion have basically created a lonely, isolated generation that isn't getting married. They're not having families, and they're actually not even totally sure how to interact with each other, Vance said in a newly unearthed interview with Crisis Magazine from August 2021. I love that these are the first things he goes to. Porn and abortion. Maybe, just maybe, one of the problems is massive economic insecurity. You have a huge disparity, income and wealth inequality that's through the roof. And you have a generation that's up to their that's up to their eyeballs in debt. My dyslexia came out there. And so it's just tough. It's just tough to make ends meet, to get your life started, to find a life partner that's willing to put up with you and all of your flaws and all of your, maybe financial drawbacks. And so, yeah, the generation is struggling. There are ways to address this which would get at the root of the problem. Now, you could argue, maybe there's an increase in antisocial activity, and maybe that has something to do with the internet and the fact that we can be more entertained from our bedrooms than we, it can be back in the day, used to go places, the mall, movie theater, whatever. Maybe there's an argument there as well, but how do you change that? I don't know how you change that. What I do know is, as a matter of principle, you should address the underlying economic issues. And a lot of these Republicans say, like, oh, they're so pro-family, but then they're not in favor of paid family leave, paid maternity leave, paid paternity leave, paid vacation time. Unionization, which would give workers more rights and more power, and more benefits, more income, more time off. If you're going to have a kid, if you want to make a family, it's kind of tough to do that if you have to work 60 hours a week. So there are things you could do to get at the root of it. You get at the root of it, and you address the income and wealth inequality, and that would help people. And maybe you'd see a slight tick more in the direction of, more people getting married. But he just goes right towards abortion and porn. So you want to ban abortion and ban porn? It sounds like the answer is yes. The writer spoke with Vance at a gathering for young conservatives where Vance was a keynote speaker. She wrote that after asking him his thoughts on porn and birth control and their effects on familial decline, Vance admitted he wants to outright ban pornography. Vance's campaign didn't provide a comment about his more recent thoughts on porn and how they would factor into his priorities as a senator. In 2016, the GOP, in its own official platform, declared porn a public health crisis, but stopped short of calling for it to be outlawed completely. Vance, who wrote in his memoir about witnessing firsthand poverty and addiction and their impact on families in Ohio, has made conserving traditional families and ending abortion main planks of his conservative platform. In his statement on the Uvalde school shooting, Vance cited the absence of strong family values and not the lack of gun control to explain why a gunman would murder 19 children and 2 teachers. We need to address the culture of fatherlessness and drug addiction in our country, focus on the importance of families so that our next generation is guided and empowered with strong support systems. They just go right back to their pet issues, no matter what the situation is. It goes right to their pet issues. So on the idea of banning porn, I mean, look, man, that cat is out of the bag now. It's a wrap. It's over. It's done. There's no putting that cat back in that bag. There's no way. I mean, is that the saying, by the way? Cat out of the bag? I don't know if that's actually the saying. It sounds weird when you say those words. But there's no putting that genie back in the bottle. How about that? That's a better way of saying it. It's over, man. Porn is as American as apple pie now. And, any sort of exploitative porn, well, that should be gone. But in terms of free consenting adults making their mind up and deciding to do this, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And that's what I would like to file under the category of freedom. And in so many ways, they love the rhetoric of freedom, but then when it comes to actually, supporting freedom, no, that's out the window. They want an authoritarian government telling what you you what you can and cannot do with your naughty parts. And you definitely can't record it. Don't you dare record it. And by the way, I don't know what the social research on this shows, but my instinct is basically the opposite, that having widely available pornography is actually probably good in many respects. So if you have porn available, you're going to have, keep it real, a lot of young men who are less pent up than if you didn't have it widely available. You're going to have, masturbation is normal. It's a very normal thing. So having a system that allows people to scratch that itch in a reasonable way, that probably leads to some societal benefits, including, I would argue, maybe less crime. Like maybe in countries that are stricter with porn and they ban it or they regulate it heavily, it's possible that could lead to more crime, because the last thing you want is a bunch of pent-up, angry young men without an outlet. And, that's effectively what he's calling for. Now, again, I want to reiterate, I don't know what the data on this shows. I have no idea, but my guess would be there are benefits to having porn legal, apart from just the freedom aspect, as a matter of principle, that nobody would ever really talks about, because, it's a crass and rude conversation to have. But I would argue there are probably societal benefits to having that available. So anyway, the social conservatism is dripping from this man. Why did I say dripping from this man? It's a weird thing to say in the context of this story. But between, cracking down on abortion, cracking down on porn, he's not in favor of social freedoms. He's in favor of social authoritarianism and Christian conservatism. And that's not good. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.